The northern flank of Europe has always carried a particular weight in matters of strategy and defense. Its geography, marked by vast forests, unforgiving winters, and long borders that stretch across some of the least hospitable terrain on the continent, has shaped the military doctrines of the nations that inhabit it. With Finland and Sweden now firmly integrated into NATO's security framework, the choices they have made in artillery stand out as reflections not only of national requirements but also of collective defense thinking. The Finnish decision to adopt the K9 Thunder self-propelled howitzer and the Swedish development of the indigenous Archer system illustrate two distinct approaches to modern fire support. Taken together, however, these approaches are far from contradictory. Rather, they provide complementary strengths that enhance NATO's overall deterrence posture in Northern Europe. Finland's embrace of the K9 Thunder began in 2017, when Helsinki sought a reliable, battle-proven artillery solution capable of meeting the country's unique strategic demands. With over 1,300 kilometers of shared border with Russia, Finland requires systems that can deliver sustained firepower across vast, sparsely populated regions where infrastructure is limited and terrain is often harsh. The acquisition of 48 second-hand K9s from South Korea at a cost of approximately €145 million marked the beginning of a long-term commitment. This fleet was gradually expanded through additional orders placed in 2021 and 2022, ultimately bringing the Finnish arsenal close to 100 vehicles by the beginning of 2024. Plans are already underway to modernize the earlier batches, with upgrades scheduled through 2030 to ensure that the systems remain at the cutting edge for at least another decade. The K9's appeal lies in its balance of mass production, proven reliability, and adaptability to different environments. At nearly 47 tons, it is a tracked system capable of traversing snow, wetlands, and forested terrain that would immobilize many wheeled vehicles. It relies on a semi-automatic loading system and requires a crew of 5, but this trade-off is compensated by its ability to deliver sustained volumes of fire for extended periods. For Finland, a nation accustomed to fighting in deep forests and accustomed to the doctrine of attrition, the K9 fits seamlessly into the national defense philosophy. Exercises conducted under NATO banners, such as Dynamic Front 25, have already demonstrated that the system is more than capable of handling the rugged conditions of the north. By contrast, Sweden pursued a different path that better aligns with its particular needs. Rather than buying into an established foreign system, Stockholm opted to create a homegrown solution that reflects its long-standing tradition of technical innovation. The Archer artillery system, built on a Volvo wheeled chassis, epitomizes Swedish priorities of speed, automation, and efficiency. Unlike the K9, Archer is designed to operate with a minimal crew of just 3 or 4 soldiers, all seated in a protected cabin. The entire loading and firing process is automated, allowing the system to unleash its first round within 30 seconds of stopping. Within less than 2 minutes it can fire a full salvo and relocate before enemy counter-battery fire can reach its position. This ability to shoot and scoot is not simply a feature but the very essence of Sweden's artillery doctrine, which emphasizes survivability and precision rather than mass firepower. Though different in form, both systems carry the NATO standard 155mm L/52 gun and can reach ranges of approximately 40 km with conventional ammunition, extending beyond 50 km when using advanced rounds. On paper, their capabilities appear similar, yet the philosophies they embody diverge sharply. The K9 is a platform optimized for durability and endurance, ideal for grinding down an opponent over long engagements and maintaining a continuous artillery presence across wide front lines. The Archer, on the other hand, is designed for agility and precision, operating under the assumption that smaller, highly mobile formations can achieve decisive results through rapid and accurate fire missions while conserving manpower. For Sweden, where demographic realities and a smaller standing army limit available personnel, automation provides a force multiplier. The Archer does not require the large crews that traditional self-propelled howitzers demand, making it far more efficient in terms of manpower. For Finland, which has built its military doctrine around mass mobilization and the ability to field large numbers of conscripts in wartime, the K9 represents a system that can be operated in greater quantities while still delivering overwhelming firepower when needed. Both approaches are valid responses to national circumstances, yet when viewed from NATO's perspective, they are even more valuable when combined. The interplay between the K9 and Archer represents a microcosm of NATO's broader strategy in the north. Finland's K9 units can act as a solid artillery wall, anchoring defensive lines and providing the sustained barrages necessary to slow or halt a determined adversary. Meanwhile, Sweden's Archer batteries can deliver rapid, precise strikes against high-value targets and then quickly vanish before countermeasures can be deployed. This combination of resilience and agility provides NATO with a layered artillery capability that is greater than the sum of its parts. It mirrors the alliance's larger doctrine, which seeks to combine endurance with flexibility, deterrence with mobility, and the capacity to fight both long and fast wars depending on the demands of the moment. Equally important is the interoperability that comes with shared standards. The K9 has already been adopted by other NATO members, including Norway, Estonia, and Poland. Its spread across the region creates a degree of commonality in logistics, training, and ammunition that enhances alliance cohesion. Crews from different countries can more easily integrate into joint operations when they operate the same or similar systems. Meanwhile, the Archer has begun to attract international attention as well. The United States Army has acquired a limited number for testing, and if the platform gains broader acceptance, it may one day set new benchmarks for automated artillery systems within NATO. This potential expansion would not only reinforce Sweden's defense industry but also give the alliance a valuable counterbalance to the massed artillery formations that remain central to Russian military doctrine. Looking ahead, both systems are set for continuous improvement. Finland's modernization program for the K9 will enhance navigation, command and control networks, and crew protection, ensuring that the fleet remains viable well into the 2030s. Sweden is expected to refine Archer with even more advanced automation, improved ammunition handling, and integration with NATO's emerging digital fire control systems. Such upgrades will not only preserve their tactical edge but also keep both countries aligned with the technological trajectory of the alliance as a whole. The symbolism of these choices cannot be ignored. For Finland, the K9 represents not only a military asset but also a strategic statement. By investing in a system that emphasizes endurance and quantity, Helsinki signals its determination to defend its territory with depth and persistence, mirroring its history of resisting overwhelming odds. For Sweden, the Archer embodies a national preference for technological sophistication, efficiency, and adaptability, qualities that have long characterized its defense industry. Together, these systems reflect two sides of the same coin, one built on resilience, the other on agility, both essential for survival in an environment defined by uncertainty and the shadow of potential high-intensity conflict. The strategic implications stretch beyond the technical details of artillery. Northern Europe, once seen as a relatively quiet flank in Cold War defense planning, has now become a focal point in NATO's security calculations. The region borders the Arctic, holds vital access routes to the Baltic Sea, and sits on the front lines of any potential confrontation with Russia. In such a context, the integration of Finnish and Swedish artillery systems into the broader NATO framework strengthens deterrence by making clear that the alliance can deliver both sustained and rapid firepower in any northern conflict scenario. This dual capability complicates adversary planning and reinforces the credibility of NATO's collective defense commitments. The comparison between the K9 and Archer should not be framed in terms of superiority or competition. Each system excels in its own domain, and neither overshadows the other. Rather, their coexistence provides NATO with a powerful synergy. The K9 ensures mass and endurance, while the Archer guarantees speed and survivability. Together, They form a balanced artillery posture that reflects the unique geography, manpower realities, and strategic needs of their respective nations. In the grander scheme of NATO's evolving northern defense, this balance may prove more valuable than any individual performance metric. As Europe faces an uncertain future marked by renewed great power rivalry and the specter of high-intensity warfare on its eastern borders, the artillery choices of Finland and Sweden stand as more than procurement decisions. They are expressions of doctrine, strategy, and national identity. The K9 Thunder and Archer together embody Northern Europe's contribution to NATO's deterrence architecture, one built on endurance and the other on agility. Both are indispensable for securing the Baltic and Arctic theaters, where the challenges of terrain, climate, and adversary capabilities demand nothing less than a fully integrated, multifaceted approach. Ultimately, these artillery systems are not merely hardware. They are tools of sovereignty and security, signaling that Northern Europe is prepared to shoulder its share of the burden in the defense of the alliance. For analysts, policymakers, and citizens alike, the lesson is clear: the days when the region could rely on static defenses and limited fire support are over. Finland and Sweden have entered NATO not as passive participants but as active contributors whose choices strengthen the alliance's capacity to deter and, if necessary, defend. Their investment in complementary artillery systems sends a powerful message, that the North is ready for the challenges of the coming decades, and that NATO's shield is stronger for it.